Let's see how to answer that question for you from,
Was it like 3 weeks ago?
Sure, we'll say 3 weeks ago. They don't want to know this. I don't know. Anywho. Wait, it's been 3 weeks? Oh shit, we got a new episode we gotta do! Ah!
Ain't nobody used to give a damn. Yeah, I had to go and make a different plan. Yeah, guess who didn't get included? Even though you made me better, yo, I strictly do it for the fam.
I set my timer. I finally remembered. Every Sunday.
Every Sunday. Welcome back, everyone, to What Grinds Our Gears.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Well, it's not going to be Mother's Day when this is posted, but fuck it. Time loop. Today's topic is a very passionate one that was brought to the attention of Hubs, to me, of cult classic one-hits.
Oh, okay.
Now, this is going to be a long one, kiddies, so this might be in some parts. Like, we may start this, had to go into parts about this, but it's also our 5th episode, which means we're also officially going on Soundcloud and maybe iTunes.
So this got started because I mentioned the new Prey game to V, and I had asked him if he had any interest in it, and blah, blah, blah. And then I asked him if he liked Bioshock, to which he replied,
I love it.
And then I told him, yes, then you will love this game because it's basically Bioshock 4. That's not to say that the game is not interesting, and that's not to say that I won't buy it, because I probably will. Because I could definitely see multiple playthroughs on this one.
Oh, definitely.
It's very large. I'd say it's a little larger than the Bioshock maps, right? Yeah. At least it seems like it, anyways. And the objectives are harder to attain. But the point that I was bringing up to V about this game, I'm not taking anything away from this game. I still don't think it should be called Prey. For, well, a few reasons. If anybody has played the original Prey and now sees this Prey, you'll completely see that there is no correlation. There's nothing. This is an entirely different game. This has nothing to do with what the original story or the original gameplay was like. And it basically, I can't say whitewash because they didn't whitewash. These are both Asian characters for Prey. So, but they basically took the original game, the original script, the original ideas for everything, and said, yeah, fuck that. And made Bioshock 4. Now, again, that's not a bad thing. The game is still good. Great. I'll end up buying it, I'm sure. But why did it have to be named Prey?
But that's
I'm going to leave to you, V.
But that's actually a pretty good point for stuff, because a lot of games that have come out over the past several years blatantly seem like ripoffs of either cult classic games that not a lot of people paid attention to back at its inception, or just stuff that was on the ground floor that they just snatched up to then polish up into something either from a turd into a shiny turd, or from a marketable standpoint into something fantastic. One thing that I'm probably going to get off my chest is going to piss off a lot of people, so I'm just going to see if I can put like a rage counter, like the anger thing from Inside Out in the middle of the corner for like every time I piss someone off. I kind of believe I'm the only one that would think this, but Portal kind of seemed like the Half-Life 3 people were waiting for in a different aspect. Because it had that whole surrealism, but using science as its own measure or chords that would kind of seem like something involving Gordon and the G-Men, but with Shell and every single robot from Wheatley in Portal 2, and
So the co-op bots.
yeah, and GLaDOS in the first game. It just felt like you took any idea for Half-Life 3 of a big enough science impact for people that wanted to do more advanced stuff with puzzles and with that whole scientific aspect, shook it up, and then just slapped on a different gender and a whole different story, but it still has that feel, in my opinion.
Well, don't they exist in the same universe?
I don't think it was confirmed, but that's what a lot of people assume.
Because isn't Aperture Science, isn't that one of the companies in Half-Life 3? Or, I'm sorry, Half-Life? Not, you were talking about Half-Life 3, that doesn't exist.
I mean, it could. I've seen a lot of companies do that, but at the same time, when you've had that much of a demand, you don't just take the potential from what your original story was and then just slap it on, just like, we'll just erase the fact that this feels like this game,
right.
Put a hot chick in it that we can't see, and then market it.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really think too much about the Portal one. I had always assumed, and I could have been wrong, I had always assumed that it was just part of the Half-Life universe, and they never connected the two outside of little Easter eggs, you know. But I didn't really get into Half-Life. I don't think, yeah, because it wasn't available on console, and I'm not a PC gamer. I know, boo.
Rage counter number 2.
But I did play Half-Life 2, and I did get into that, and I enjoyed it a lot. I still don't know if I've beaten it.
Well, it's a hard game to play through.
That game is shit. When did that come out?
Early 2000s, I think.
Well, the orange box is on PS3, but I think the game Half-Life 2 came out on PC when PlayStation 2 was still around, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I didn't get to it until later on, and so I'm guessing that was like the first open world, first person shooter that was kind of RPG-ish as well, of that size.
It seems like it until Red Dead Redemption happened.
Right. So I didn't invest like the massive amounts of time into that game because at the time there were games like Skyrim coming out and
Skyrim.
You know, it's just like now there's so many new games out that I want to play that I just don't have the money to buy, you know, so I fall behind. But anyway, back to the topic because I'm getting way off.
Aaron, my brother, when do we not go off topic?
Never. That's a thing. That's a thing for us.
It's a thing.
But getting back, I do get that. I mean, well, it's like I think we touched on it a little bit with when we talked about having a franchise game and then changing the main characters.
Yeah.
That's sort of the same thing, you know. But again, it's different because like Mass Effect Andromeda is still a great game. I'd still probably buy it, even if the story's a little flat. You know, the gameplay's awesome, but
Aaron,
I understand why they still named it Mass Effect.
Aaron, if I can interject on that point, though, I feel like it could have been a good enough game if it wasn't trying to be a forced Mass Effect title.
Well, I think so here's what I think happened. Right, so they killed Shepard, right?
Yeah.
Main character of the franchise, everybody's hero at that point, kind of like Master Chief. You killed your main character. Where do you go from here? They say, well, let's just keep it in the same universe. We want the same sort of storyline, but we want different people. And everybody goes, but that was the storyline. What do you want to write about?
Slap on the Mass Effect label to make it even more confusing.
Right, and I think EA can't. Well, I don't know if it was EA. I think somebody came to BioWare and was like, "Okay, so this is what we want. We want another Mass Effect game because they're great sellers, you know, great sellers. But we want you to keep everything within the time of here. Let's try this. You try a fresh start. What happens after Shepard dies?
Oh, I know. He dies? Steve, you're fired. Stewart, what about you? Well, how about we have these people go into the ship, and then they just fly into this time hole thing that sends them across the universe, and they find the Andromeda Galaxy.
Well, they're all asleep. They're all sleeping, and when they fall asleep, though, Shepard is still alive.
But Stewart, Bill, how is this possible? Well, you see...
it's cryogenics, right? Right, V? Stewart? Bill? Which one am I talking to?
well, you see, Bill, and you see, Graham, the thing about it is, it comes from a different game we're gonna make called Moonwalker Andromeda, where it's about to be these two guys in this cryogenic freeze, and they come out to try and save the whole Andromeda galaxy from this Black Plague shit. Wait, what? Wait, Black Plague? Stuart, Bill, this is amazingly stupid! How'd you come up with this? Well, you see, we were doing coke with the guys from Square Enix that were making, this stuff that should have been in Final Fantasy 13, so we were like, ugh, fuck it, let's roll with this.
We'll change it from, oh, what the hell, the Lucy to the, what the hell do we call it? Oh, shit. I can't remember what they call it. What the hell do they call that? No, the Blight in Mass Effect. the darkness in Mass Effect. I forget what the hell they call it. The Scourge. That's right, the Scourge. We'll call it the Scourge.
Bill Stewart, you're fantastic. You got the job. Steve, pack up your shit. Get out of here.
I think that's how they go. I think that's how game storming, brainstorming goes, you know.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Oh man. I still get why it's called Mass Effect, though. You know, it's still in the Mass Effect universe, and it is a different story. And you know what? I kind of feel like this should have been the first game.
Yeah, that would have been a lot better.
It would have made sense. We're exploring galaxies. We're going to a different galaxy. We're going to see what's out there. But no, you did it after you already told this massive, huge, epic story about one man on a mission to save the not just our galaxy, but other, you know, other galaxies from this massive threat that wipes out all sentient life. You know, that's huge. And then you go to, yeah, we're explorers. We found this new Andromeda galaxy.
Yeah.
We want to see what's out there.
Yeah.
Oh, and we ran across this alien race that's pretty hostile towards us.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
This is very terrible, and they have ancient technology that we just keep discovering everywhere, and we don't know how to use it. But for some reason, I can access this power.
Well, you must be a very righteous dude.
Horrible. Oh, I'll still buy it. Yay, you got my fucking money once again, you bastards.
But I think that still goes into the I know a lot of people gonna be like, you got off topic. Counter number 3. But it kind of goes in the same category because, believe it or not, guys, a lot of the big games that come out when you're not expecting them were meant to be one-hit wonders because the companies weren't expecting them to sell.
Right.
Like, people
bitch. I'm waiting for a new Quake.
We all are.
The popularity, the new Doom, and but let me say, the new Doom is much better than any of those sequels that came out on the PS3 platform or whatever.
Oh God, yes.
It feels like Quake and Doom from the PC era before consoles, you know. Not before consoles, because Nintendo was out, but like Quake and Doom, those were PC games. They were never console games.
But most of the time, companies were just using those on a limb because, believe it or not, behind the scenes, if they want to admit it or not, their funding wasn't that great at the time when they made these games. Right. Final Fantasy is a big note of that because they thought it was their final epic fantasy of the RPG genre, which is why it's become such a staple because of it being the last length thing and it's become popularized.
Yeah.
Pokemon technically was a one-shot thing that Nintendo took a big risk on because it was a guy that studied bugs to make an entire thing about animals, about 152 fucking creatures, where you have to have a 10-year-old capture them, which should be illegal in many different countries. There's like, are you a boy? Are you a girl? Professor Oak, this is Chris Hansen. He's saying you're creeping on kids again.
Anyways, so Prey was my big, I'm pissed off about it because I wanted more of the original, like I was so intrigued and so interested in that original story.
It was beautiful.
And I had to go on Wikipedia and find the original story just to read, you know, because I never finished the game and it's kind of hard to find nowadays, and I don't really play the Xbox 360 anymore. So
all the good shit is hard to find.
Right. So, and I read it and I'm like, what? In case anybody listening hasn't played or heard of the original Prey, it came out in 2006, I believe. And I'm going to look up on my phone, and V can make notes later about who the original game maker was, but...
Future me, you know what to do. We've done this before.
So Prey is about a Native American man, his fiance or girlfriend, and then his grandfather, who is also, he's a Cherokee elder, I believe, in the game. And in the very beginning of the game, they're a movie. The grandfather and the main character get into a fight, and then all of a sudden the entire town is like abducted up into this spaceship. And it is 2006. It came out in 2006. Was published by 2K Games, and Take-Two Interactive was the distributor.
You got that, future me? I know you probably got like a middle finger emoji at my picture, so I'll just take that in pride.
It was under contract for 3D Realms and developed by Human Head Studios. Anyways, I'm just gonna read this from you. From you. I'm gonna read this from you, Lee.
Yeah, it's like something I wrote on the internet that people are not reading.
And I'm gonna read it because I want you to... When I'm reading this, yes, it's gonna sound far-fetched and fucking crazy. Well, yeah, it's a fucking video game. It's not like it's real life or anything. There's far worse. The game's story is focused on Cherokee Damasi Tommy Tawadi, as he, his girlfriend, and grandfather are abducted aboard an alien spaceship known as the Sphere, as it consumes material both inanimate and living from Earth in order to sustain itself. Tommy's Cherokee past allows him to let his spirit roam freely at times and gives Tommy an edge in his attempt to stop the Sphere. So that's just pretty much the plot summary. That's just a gameplay summary.
To watch the whole gameplay or play it, it's very trippy though. Especially the plot twist about when he actually finds his girlfriend.
And it's quite gory for the day, because graphics had gotten... Well, this is 360, so you think Halo graphics, Halo 2 graphics. And it's pretty gory, but the thing about it is the whole center of the game, the whole thing is about this Native American Cherokee who uses his ancestral powers, shall I say?
You can say that.
To defeat this sphere, this alien being, which, by the way, if you continue to play or read anything more for the plot, it gets much more interesting. The Sphere, this alien race, is a race of cybernetic beings that have enhanced themselves, that travel across the galaxy, planting seeds of DNA on different planets, and then leaving those seeds, going to other planets where they have already planted seeds and harvesting them. Earth happens to be one of those planets that they planted seeds on. We are here because of them. And they're back to eat us. And cybernetically enhance some of us, which deepens the story even more. You know, now we're on a galactic scale. You know. And I just...
people.
After saying that, after reading that little snippet to you, how, then, could you not take absolutely anything of the original plot in any form except for aliens and first-person shooter, and then put Prey on the name?
No clue.
That's what pisses me off. I love the game. Not the original. I mean, I love that one too, but this new one is great. It's very well done. I like it, and it is interesting. But really, I mean, unless I get to the end of the game and there's some sort of Easter egg that links back to the original game, or somewhere says that Prey 2 is going to be like the original or something, you know, and then I have to come back and say, hey, look, guys, I'm sorry, I fucked up. Which
if that happens, we'll just be like, yeah, we were wrong, but we ain't apologizing.
Right. I still, like, from everything I've seen so far, this is not Prey. This is BioShock 4. You know, it's just a more extensive version because you can fabricate things, you can create items, you can create weapons and things like that. I suppose you can do that in BioShock too, can't you?
BioShock or you can create weapons and stuff like, well, The Last of Us, you could craft stuff, right?
Right.
And
yeah,
then,
but that's...
And then for Mass Effect, you can craft your arsenal pretty efficiently in Andromeda. Along with some stuff in Mass Effect 3 that kind of alternates what you can and cannot do.
So I've pretty much been, my main focus has been on Prey, and I'm sorry. Again, love the game.
Oh no, Aaron, since we've reached episode 5, we got so much stuff to do. But